which version is real. The reflection you trusted 5 minutes ago, or the stranger living inside the photo. And no, you're not making this up. There's a real explanation for why this happens. It begins with something psychologists call the mirror exposure effect, and honestly, that's only scratching the surface. Because the reason so many people hate photos goes way deeper than just being awkward on camera. And it's not only mirrors, either. Maybe it's a birthday party, a wedding reception, or literally some random afternoon where somebody suddenly decides, we need a picture. The second someone says group photo, your entire body quietly panics. You don't even have to think about it anymore. You're already moving backward, already reaching for the phone. I'll take it. And just like that, you're safe again, standing behind a camera instead of in front of it. Honestly, that position feels easier, more comfortable. And if that sounds painfully familiar, trust me, you're definitely not the only one. But the strange part is, you're probably not doing it for the reason people assume. So what's really happening here? First, let's go back to the mirror. There's a reason your reflection feels more correct. And it's not just in your imagination. Well, technically it is in your brain, but not in the way most people think. The mirror exposure effect basically means your mind prefers what it sees most often. And what do you see constantly? Your reflection, bathroom mirrors, store windows, front-facing phone cameras, dark screens catching your face at night. That reverse version becomes your normal. But photographs flip that experience around. A picture shows a version everyone else sees instead. And because your brain isn't used to that version, it immediately reacts with, something feels wrong here. Researchers actually tested this a few years ago. People were shown both their mirrored face and their photographed face and asked which looked more attractive. Most people chose the mirror version. So no, you're not imagining the difference. Your brain literally prefers the face it recognizes. And honestly, the camera itself isn't helping either. A study published in JAMA found that selfies taken too close to the face can make your nose appear nearly 30% larger than it really is. 30%. The lens physically distorts your features. So, a classmate, a cousin during some family gathering who thought they were joking, but your nervous system didn't experience it as a joke. Your brain quietly stored that moment away under one message. Being seen is dangerous. And years later, every time a camera points toward you, that old emotional file opens again. You're not only reacting to the picture, you're reacting to the memory attached to it. Maybe you don't consciously remember the moment anymore, but your body remembers. Psychologists call this condition emotional response. One painful interaction can quietly create a rule deep inside your nervous system. Cameras equal judgment, and without realizing it, you've been following that rule ever since. Honestly, I understand this more than you probably think, because I used to be exactly the same. I avoided every single camera. I was always the one volunteering to hold the phone, taking pictures for everyone else, making sure everybody around me looked great. And for years, I genuinely believed I was okay with that. Then one afternoon, I found an old stack of school photos hidden inside a box. Class trips, birthdays, random afternoons with friends. The kind of memories that don't seem important until suddenly they are. And every single one of my friends was there, laughing, making stupid faces, existing without caring how they looked. But me, I was missing from almost all of it. Those moments still happened. I was physically there. I lived through them. But there was almost no evidence of my younger self existing inside those memories. Nobody sat me down afterward and told me I needed a change. Nobody gave me some motivational speech. I just realized something quietly on my own. And no, I'm not saying you need to suddenly love cameras or appear in every picture. That's not the message. But maybe one or two photos matter more than you realize. One awkward smile at a birthday party. One blurry group photo with people you love. Not for social media. Not for strangers. For future you. Because one day, years from now, you might scroll through old memories wishing you had allowed yourself to exist inside them. So let's bring all of this together. People may have called you shy, insecure, dramatic, or difficult because you avoid photos. But now you understand what might actually be happening underneath all of it. Your brain is reacting to a face that feels unfamiliar. It's comparing versions of yourself that never fully match. It's imagining a spotlight that probably isn't there. And it's trying to protect an identity that feels impossible to capture in one still image. That doesn't make you flawed. That makes you human. And for some people, those reactions were learned a very long time ago. So here's what I'll leave you with. You don't owe anybody a picture. You don't owe anyone a forced smile. And you definitely don't owe people an explanation for why you'd rather stay behind the camera. But if one day you're somewhere meaningful, surrounded by people who genuinely matter, and somebody lifts a camera toward the group, maybe don't instantly volunteer to hold the phone this time. Maybe just step into the frame. Just once. Not for validation. Not for likes. Not even for proof. Do it for the future version of yourself that might someday want some.